Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow room. And we're continuing our survey of Charles Ives. And for those of you who turn up your nose at Ives, or really have no idea what he's about, or, really couldn't care less, trust me, there is a lot here. He is a composer of great substance and rather amazing range. He really is. And just stick with me through this particular leg of the journey and listen to a few things. I'll point out highlights along the way and things you should get yourself into. And you may find yourself curiously attractive to this truculent, stubborn, iconoclastic composer. Really very nifty. Okay, here we have premiere recordings of unpublished works and new critical editions, The Unknown Ives, on the CRI label, which no longer exists, I don't think. Donald Berman is the excellent pianist. And here we have, the 3-page sonata, which is the sonata nobody knows about. It's so called because it occupied 3 pages of manuscript score. It's 8 minutes long and thoroughly gnarly and fun to listen to. It was written in 1905-ish. Then you've got a bunch of studies. He wrote etudes. They're etudes, they're studies, but they're studies in, musical language, you might say, dissonant things and crazy combinations of stuff. So you've got studies 6, 7, 8, 9, 15, 16, 23, 20, 22, and ending with 21. Now, some of these pieces were orchestrated. Some of them appear as works inside other works. They were never completed. Or in any normative sense, they're numbered, but the numbers don't reflect how many there really are. There are fewer than the numbering would suggest, unfortunately, because it'd be cool to have like a complete set. And then we've got set of 5 takeoffs from 1906. I wonder if it tells us what they're takeoffs of. I have to remember that. Let me see. Oh, there we go. 5 takeoffs. The Seen and Unseen, or Sweet and Tough, Rough and Ready, or The Jumping Frog, Song Without Good Words, Scene Episode, and Bad Resolutions and a Good One. That's what the takeoffs are. I love Ives' titles. He was as wonderful as Eric Satie when it comes to doing crazy titles of things. And we have a Ruggles conclusion here, Evocations, 4 Chants for Piano, one of his very few completed works that he actually signed his name to, and it's terrific. So this is a wonderful disc. I would look up the pianist, Donald Berman, and see if this is somehow still available somewhere, because if you're an Ivesian, you're going to want that. It's really, really good stuff. We still don't have, I think, a complete Ives piano works edition by any single pianist. I mean, no one has been, masochistic enough to do it. But then again, they do Sarabji. So if you can do Sarabji, good God, you could do Ives. I mean, all of his piano works would fit into one opus clavicembalisticum, or whatever those things are. So then we've got Ives plays Ives on CRI, the composer at the piano, in 4 recording sessions, 1933 through 43. 42 tracks representing bits of 17 different works, with Ives talking and speaking and singing. 77 minutes, a real historical collector's item. Lots and lots of fun. So beginning in 1933 in London, of all places, and then probably New York, it says, and then the rest of these things were in New York. Bits of the Concord Sonata, improvisations, songs, all kinds of stuff. Yale student songs. Great. So that's a classic. It's absolutely a classic. Then we've got, Stephen Jaffe. Oh, Stephen Jaffe's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So this is interesting. He's a good composer. But where's the Ives thing? Oh, you know what? Stephen Jaffe's a J. Ha ha! There you go. He comes before Janacek, and we're not in Ives. This is on Bridge Records. I'm so happy I found this. Sorry, Mr. Jaffe, but there you are. I'll put you back in the alphabet where you belong. I hope I didn't have other things that are out of here. Goodness gracious. What have I got here? I did. There's a bunch of J's here. So this is the, Ives would appreciate this. He would appreciate not seeing, getting mixed up with some other J's before we get to the I's. It's a very Ivesian thing to have happen. So music of Stephen Jaffe, his violin concerto with Gregory Fulkerson and the Odense Symphony Orchestra under Donald Palma, and his chamber concerto for oboe and 5 instruments with Stephen Taylor, who's a fabulous oboist. Speculum Musicae under William Purvis. So this is great. It's good stuff. He's a fine composer. Doesn't write down, to dumb down his music, but it's quite listenable and very, very enjoyable. This is on Bridge Records. There's Jaffe. And after Jaffe, we have Paul Jacobs. The great Paul Jacobs, who I just talked about when I did a video of the 5 greatest Debussy pianists. He was one of them. He didn't make enough records. He was splendid. He was the New York Philharmonic official pianist, and he specialized in doing contemporary music. And this is a wonderful, wonderful disc on the Arbiter label that features the legendary Busoni recordings and works by Bach, Bartok, Brahms, Messiaen, and Stravinsky on 2 CDs. Incredible. Busoni, 6 polyphonic etudes, Stravinsky's 4 etudes, Bartok's 3 studies, opus 18, Messiaen's 4 rhythmic etudes, Busoni's sonatinas numbers 1 and 2, and then numbers 3 and 6 on disc 2. 3 through 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you've got all 6 sonatinas. Bach Busoni chorale preludes and Brahms Busoni chorale preludes. Fabulous, fabulous pianism by a brilliant artist. It was terrific. So I believe he passed away from AIDS. It was really, really a tragic loss. But this is 2.5 hours of music. There's serious stuff here on the Arbiter label. Yeah, Paul Jacobs. So we've got Jaffe, we've got Jacobs. Put that there. It goes before Ives. I'm going to have to reorganize this stuff. Then we have, before even that, oh my goodness. Okay, we're getting back to Ives in a minute. Gordon Jacob on Lyrita. Yeah, Gordon Jacob, his first symphony from 1929 and his second symphony from 1945. Wonderful music. Enjoyable music. He was a he's known for his band stuff, and for I think he orchestrated or arranged for bands, or had something to do with Yvonne Williams' English folk song suite, didn't he? Something like that. His own music is well worth getting to know. We've got the London Philharmonic and Barry Wordsworth. So yes, plain Jacob, not Jacobs with an S. So he goes before all of this stuff. And I will stick this under Ives, and it will now be alphabetized properly. I knew that there was something between Janacek and Ives. I knew there were other J's. I did, but where they were, I had no idea. So I guess when I stuffed these in, some of the little bits of the alphabet got mixed up. So I'm awfully glad I ran into that. With that, I think we've sort of run out of time. Have we? Yeah, I think so. We did a couple Ives and the rest of the J's. That's a good place to stop, I think. And we'll come back to Ives. I promise, in the next video. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.